In the summer of 2023, a girl disappears in Alsace. She only wanted to go to the train station, but she never arrived. To this day, there is no trace of 15-year-old Lina. Although a suspect has been identified almost a year after her disappearance, this has not made the investigation any easier, but only more difficult. There are still many questions surrounding this case. The most important one remains unanswered to this day. What happened to Lina Delsarte? It is September 23rd, 2023. At around 11 a.m. on this Saturday morning, Lina sets off for the train station in Saint-Blaise-la-Roche. She wants to take the train to Strasbourg to meet her boyfriend. Her boyfriend Tao is 19 years old and plans to wait for her at the station. Lina walks the 3 kilometers from the small town to the train station. In rural areas, it is not uncommon to walk such distances. Since her train does not leave until 12:03 p.m., she has plenty of time to walk at a leisurely pace. Lina's route takes her along the D350 that day. She has walked this route many times before. She lives with her mother. Her parents are separated, but they still have a good relationship. At around 11:15 a.m., the mayor sees Lina walking along the road toward the train station. In this small town, everyone knows each other, at least by sight. The mayor drives past Lina, who is walking along the side of the road. At this point, she has been walking for about 15 minutes. At 11:20 a.m., Lina sends another Snapchat video to her boyfriend Tao. She greets him briefly and tells him how much she is looking forward to seeing him. At 12:50 p.m., Tao is waiting at the platform at Strasbourg station as promised. The regional express from Saint-Blaise-la-Roche arrives. Numerous passengers get off, but Lina is not among them. Tao immediately tries to call Lina, but her cell phone is turned off. So Tao informs Lina's mother. At 2:15 p.m., Lina is reported missing. The French authorities immediately take the teenager's disappearance very seriously. A large-scale search operation is launched on the same day. The police are on the scene with helicopters, drones, and dog teams, combing through the surrounding villages. The search continues late into the night, but must be called off without success before it can continue the next day. As Lina does not show up during the day despite the intensive efforts, fears grow that she may have been the victim of a crime. Initial investigations reveal that Lina never boarded the train in Saint-Blaise-la-Roche. Something must have happened to her on the way to the station. This fits with the fact that her cell phone was turned off at 11:22 a.m., when she was definitely still on foot. Early on, investigators developed the hypothesis that Lina was abducted on the road to Saint-Blaise-la-Roche. The police searched not only the area, but also a nearby impound lot and the cars parked there. As a result, on September 29th, a house search is conducted on a property in Alsace. The resident is a music teacher at a local high school. Fingerprints and saliva samples are taken from both him and his family. The investigation at the house drags on because the police are meticulously searching everything with forensic experts. There is a brief glimmer of hope when a white down jacket is found in the attic of the house. Lina was wearing exactly the same type of jacket on the day she disappeared. Ultimately, however, this lead proves to be a dead end. Although the police seize 2 cars, there is no evidence to suggest that the teacher is a suspect. It is unclear what exactly led the police to this man in the first place. What is clear, however, is that Lina remains missing. First, it's just days, then weeks, and finally months. There has been no sign of life from the 15-year-old since September 23rd. Her cell phone was never turned on again. Her bank account shows no activity, and there are no significant clues as to possible sightings of the missing girl. The suspicion that Lina was indeed kidnapped grows stronger by the day. A witness claims to have also seen Lina on the day of her disappearance. However, unlike the mayor, he did not see her walking down the street, but in a car. Lina was sitting in the passenger seat of a dark car and waved to him. The girl looked completely normal and relaxed. The witness says he only saw the lower half of the driver's face briefly. He was about 20 to 40 years old and had a goatee. The witness is certain that he has never seen the driver or his car in the area before. Unfortunately, he cannot describe the car in more detail. Disturbing information about Lina's personal life has also come to light. In the summer of 2022, the year before her disappearance, Lina filed a report with the police. It was about an incident classified as gang rape. At the time, the case was not pursued due to insufficient evidence. It was only after Lina's disappearance that the matter was reinvestigated. Today, it is not believed that the alleged incident from 2022 had anything to do with Lina's disappearance. However, Lina's mother's lawyer sums up the whole situation aptly. He says they are stunned to learn of this U-turn by the public prosecutor's office and wonder why the original decision to drop the case was only revised after Lina's abduction. This raises questions about the quality of the police work and the attention given to a report filed by a 13-year-old girl, an age at which consent cannot be proven. It is unclear who the perpetrators were at the time and to what extent they were later investigated. 6 months after Lina's disappearance, there is a brief glimmer of hope. At the end of March 2024, the French police take 3 people into custody in connection with Lina's disappearance. They are said to be a couple in their 70s and a man. The 3 had previously been questioned as witnesses and are now asked to explain discrepancies in their statements. Ultimately, however, the suspicions are not substantiated. All 3 are released without being officially charged or accused. Instead, a car once again becomes the focus of the investigation. The police have now evaluated several surveillance cameras on access roads around the location of the disappearance. One of them shows a conspicuous dark Ford Puma on September 23, 2023. It is registered in Germany. So the French police contact the German authorities. Their colleagues are able to help. The car was stolen from a supermarket parking lot on August 24th. On January 6, 2024, the vehicle was stopped by customs officials in Sigean. The driver then attempted to flee. In doing so, he broke through a toll barrier and caused property damage. As the driver was under the influence of cocaine, he was taken into police custody. He explained that he had bought the Ford Puma from a homeless man in Besançon for 100 euros. Ultimately, the driver was sentenced to 15 months probation. The car ended up in a tow yard while the police evaluated the vehicle's onboard computer. The evaluation took several months, and they looked not only at the digital data, but also at the man from whom the vehicle was taken. 2 geolocation points confirmed that the Ford Puma was on the exact stretch of road where Lina was traveling at 11:20 a.m. and 11:26 a.m. And at 11:22 a.m., Lina's cell phone switched off. After several months of investigation, the police are certain they have a new prime suspect. But then everything changes. On July 22, 2024, a man in his 40s has a court date. His name is Samuel G. He is charged with various robberies he allegedly committed in August 2023. Among other things, as you may have guessed, this includes the theft of a Ford Puma. Within a week, he is said to have attacked and injured a pensioner, robbed a supermarket, and stolen from a gas station. Samuel is therefore facing quite a few charges, but the court hearing against him will no longer take place. 12 days before the date, On July 10th, 2024, Samuel takes his own life. He leaves behind a brief farewell note. It reads, "I have lost my honor, my dignity, my humanity. I have to go. I can't control myself. It's all happening too fast. I'm suffering too much. It's better this way." He leaves behind a wife and 2 children. Samuel lives a relatively secluded life. He had little contact with his neighbors. At first, he had started his adult life quite normally. At the beginning of 2023, he fell into a downward spiral. Samuel is a trained carpenter and worked as a teacher at a vocational school until he simply stopped coming to work. At that point, he had slipped into a drug addiction, which he tried to hide from his family. He is said to have hinted several times that he wanted to take his own life, whereupon he was admitted to a psychiatric institution. All this happened in the course of 2023, during which he also committed several crimes. And shortly before his death, in June 2024, the Ford Puma he had stolen was once again examined forensically, with sad results. The DNA profile of the missing Lina was found in the car stolen by Samuel. A hair belonging to the 15-year-old was found on the passenger seatbelt. In the glove compartment was a small bag containing various items belonging to Lina: a pocket mirror, a pack of false eyelashes and accompanying glue, her cell phone case, and her headphones. A rope was also found in the trunk of the car, which also contained traces of Lina's DNA. And unsurprisingly, Samuel G's DNA was found on the driver's seat of the Ford Puma. This circumstance, at the latest, made Samuel a suspect in the alleged kidnapping case involving Lina. The French police worked for months to investigate and evaluate the forensic and digital evidence. The problem? Samuel was never once questioned about Lina's disappearance. While the officers were still gathering evidence against him, Samuel had already decided to take his own life. So now they finally have a suspect, but no way to question him. Nevertheless, the police are still optimistic that they will soon be able to solve the Lina case. Using the GPS data from the Ford Puma, the police have identified various locations where the car was after Lina's abduction and which could be possible hiding places for her body. On July 31st, excavations take place in the communal forest of Anold in the Vosges, about 40 kilometers from Lina's hometown. A dog unit is also on the way. Unfortunately, nothing can be found there. A second search on August 6th in Haute-Saône is unsuccessful. The same is true of a third search in a 90-hectare forest in Salk. On September 19th, 2024, under great pressure, the Strasbourg public prosecutor invites the press to a press conference. By this point, Samuel's name and picture have long been circulating in public. Although he is under suspicion, there is still very little concrete information. It is known that traces of Lina were found in the Ford Puma stolen by Samuel, but there is no information about a possible motive, Lina's fate, or why the police did not question Samuel about the Lina case earlier. The lead investigator is unable to answer any of these questions at the press conference. The car's GPS data shows that Samuel was definitely in the area around Lina's home on that day, but the question remains as to what he was doing there. The area is very remote and rural, and there is no apparent reason why Samuel G. would have been driving around there at noon on September 23rd. In an interview in May 2024, Lina's mother said that she had learned that Lina had occasionally gone out partying secretly. There is speculation that Lina may have met Samuel on one of these outings. However, at the press conference, it is emphasized that there are no traces indicating contact between Samuel and Lina. So, the question remains, how did Lina get into Samuel's car if the two did not know each other? Lina actually had plenty of time to walk to the train station. If Samuel forced her into the car, the question of why arises again. And to this day, no one knows where Lina is. During the last search efforts, the ground was dug up, among other things. So they were looking for Lina's body. The reason why Samuel might have murdered the girl is also completely unclear at this point. And since he took his own life before the police could even officially accuse him of kidnapping, it will be very difficult to find out. The police missed their chance to talk to the suspect about the crime. There is another mystery surrounding Lina's abduction. Many flowers and candles were placed at a spot in Bruchsal in memory of the missing teenager. All of the memorial items disappeared within a day. To this day, it has not been possible to determine who took the items from the memorial site. It's always frustrating when there are cases where the main suspect cannot be questioned for whatever reason. I really hope I can give you an update on the case soon, so feel free to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell. If you want to watch the videos without censorship and advertising, please subscribe to me on Patreon. You can find the link in the info box. You'll also find links to my other social media accounts, such as Instagram and Discord. Thank you very much for watching and for all your support. Other than that, there's not much else to say. I wish you a good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on when you're watching the video, and hope to see you again in the next video. Until then, ciao everyone.